Imagine a single man holding enough power to single-handedly prevent the collapse of the American economy. Not once, but twice. He wasn't a politician or a government official, but a financier. A banker whose influence reached far beyond Wall Street. This man was J.P. Morgan, and today we'll explore how he bought America. John Pierpont Morgan wasn't just a wealthy businessman. He was the kingmaker of American finance. His influence wasn't just confined to banking. It stretched across industries, government policy, and even culture. Born into privilege in 1837, Morgan was groomed from a young age by his father, Junius Morgan, a successful international banker. From an early age, Morgan's path was clear. He would inherit his father's financial empire and make it even larger. But the America that J.P. Morgan came of age in was far from the economic powerhouse it would later become. It was a young, emerging market, still heavily dependent on British capital and struggling to find its financial footing after the devastation of the Civil War. In this climate of economic instability, Morgan's genius for consolidation, control, and stabilization would catapult him to unprecedented power. The late 19th and early 20th centuries were turbulent times for the U.S. economy. While rapid industrialization and westward expansion created tremendous opportunities, they also brought significant challenges. America's industries, particularly the railroads, were growing too fast for their own good. The country was experiencing frequent boom and bust cycles, with economic panics and recessions regularly threatening to destabilize the nation. The Panic of 1873, the Panic of 1893, and countless smaller crises highlighted the dangers of America's overextended industries and its reliance on foreign capital, especially from Britain. Railroads were the lifeblood of the country's infrastructure, connecting distant parts of the nation and fueling the growth of industry and commerce. But the railroad industry was highly fragmented and inefficient. Many companies were fiercely competing for the same routes, laying down parallel tracks and driving each other to the brink of bankruptcy. This overexpansion led to declining profits and chaos within the industry. And as railroads struggled, so did the economy as a whole. In this environment, America desperately needed a financial leader capable of bringing stability to these crucial industries. Enter J.P. Morgan, a man with the vision, resources, and determination to impose order on a disorderly economy. He saw the disarray of the railroads not as a disaster, but as an opportunity. And he would go on to revolutionize the industry through a process that would come to be known as Morganization. J.P. Morgan's journey to becoming the most powerful banker in America began with the influence of his father, Junius Morgan, who was a respected banker with deep connections in both American and European financial circles. Growing up, J.P. Morgan was heavily influenced by his father's rigorous discipline and business acumen, though Morgan was often sick as a child and struggled with various health issues, including rheumatic fever and a disfiguring skin condition. He used his isolation to focus on intellectual pursuits, particularly finance. Morgan's early career began in New York, where his father helped him secure a position as a clerk in a banking firm. But it wasn't long before Morgan struck out on his own, founding J. Pierpont Morgan and Company in 1861. His timing couldn't have been better. America was on the cusp of explosive growth, and Wall Street was becoming the center of the financial world. Morgan quickly established himself as a brilliant and ambitious financier, using his connections and keen business sense to rise in prominence. But it wasn't until Morgan began investing in railroads that he truly began to make his mark. The railroad industry was chaotic and competitive, and it desperately needed someone with a clear vision to bring order. Morgan saw that the key to success in this industry was consolidation, bringing smaller, struggling companies together under centralized control to create stability and profitability. One of Morgan's earliest railroad ventures was with the New York Central Railroad, which was owned by Cornelius Vanderbilt, another titan of American industry. Morgan's first step into the railroad world came when he helped negotiate a truce between Vanderbilt and Jay Gould, another powerful financier, who had been locked in a vicious battle over control of key railroad lines. The feud was wreaking havoc on the industry, and Morgan's intervention helped restore order. By stepping in as a mediator and broker, Morgan demonstrated his ability to see the bigger picture and bring rival businessmen to the negotiating table. It was this role as a peacemaker that would define Morgan's approach to the railroad industry. Unlike other financiers who simply invested in companies from afar, Morgan took an active role in shaping the future of the railroads he invested in. This strategy of activist investing became known as Morganization, and it allowed Morgan to exert control over companies and industries in ways that few others could. One of Morgan's most famous railroad ventures was with the Pennsylvania Railroad, where he played a central role in its reorganization and helped it become one of the largest and most successful rail companies in the country. Morgan's influence in the railroad industry grew so immense that by the late 19th century, he controlled nearly 1/3 of all rail lines in America. His efforts not only stabilized the railroad industry, but also made it more profitable, attracting even more investment from both domestic and international sources. This was crucial for the American economy, as railroads were the backbone of industry, commerce, and westward expansion. Morgan's greatest moment of triumph came in 1901 when he orchestrated the creation of U.S. Steel. This was the culmination of years of consolidation and negotiation, as Morgan sought to bring stability to the fractured steel industry. The opportunity came when Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, decided it was time to retire. Carnegie Steel was the largest and most profitable steel company in the world, but Carnegie wanted to step away from the business world and focus on philanthropy. Morgan saw this as his chance to not only control the steel industry, but to create something entirely new, a massive corporation that would dominate the American economy. He approached Carnegie with a proposition: sell his company to Morgan's syndicate and allow him to merge it with several smaller steel companies. Carnegie agreed, writing down a price of $480 million on a scrap of paper. Without hesitation, Morgan accepted the deal, and with that, U.S. Steel was born. The creation of U.S. Steel was a watershed moment in American corporate history. It became the world's first billion-dollar company, valued at $1.40 billion, an astronomical sum at the time. The company controlled nearly 70% of the nation's steel production, making it one of the most powerful corporations in the world. Morgan had successfully brought together competing companies under a single umbrella, creating a corporate giant that would shape the future of American industry for decades to come. This moment cemented Morgan's status as the most powerful man in American finance. He had demonstrated that he could not only save industries from collapse, but also create economic empires that would dominate the global market. It was a testament to his ability to see the big picture and his willingness to take bold risks. While U.S. Steel marked the pinnacle of Morgan's power, his influence wasn't limited to just one industry. His success in reorganizing railroads and steel companies earned him a reputation as a financial savior, and his intervention was often sought during times of economic crisis. The Panic of 1893 was one such moment when Morgan's leadership helped avert disaster. As the U.S. Treasury's gold reserves plummeted and the economy teetered on the edge of collapse, Morgan stepped in with a bold plan to restore confidence in the government's ability to back its currency. Morgan organized a syndicate of American and European bankers to buy bonds and replenish the U.S. gold reserves. His efforts helped stabilize the economy and restore faith in the financial system, proving that Morgan wasn't just a corporate raider. He was also a man who understood the importance of national stability. However, this power came with controversy. Many critics began to worry that Morgan held too much influence over the U.S. economy. His dominance in banking, railroads, and steel led some to believe that he was monopolizing key industries and placing too much control in the hands of a single individual. Morgan's power even attracted the attention of President Theodore Roosevelt, who saw Morgan's monopolistic tendencies as a threat to fair competition in the marketplace. Roosevelt and Morgan clashed over the issue of monopolies, with Roosevelt taking steps to break up Morgan's Northern Securities Company, which controlled several key railroads. The Supreme Court ultimately ruled in favor of the government, and Northern Securities was dissolved in 1904. Despite this setback, Morgan remained a dominant figure in American finance. J.P. Morgan's legacy is one of immense power, influence, and controversy. He was a man who could stabilize industries, save the economy from collapse, and create corporations of unprecedented scale. But his success came at a cost. Many feared that he wielded too much power, and that his control over key industries was a threat to the very foundation of American democracy. Morgan's actions paved the way for modern capitalism, where consolidation and corporate power are defining features. His efforts to stabilize the economy during times of crisis, such as the Panic of 1893, showcased his ability to act as a financial leader. Yet his dominance also led to the creation of regulatory bodies like the Federal Reserve, designed to prevent any one individual from holding so much control over the economy. Morgan passed away in 1913, but his impact on the financial world endures to this day. His role in shaping American capitalism cannot be overstated, and his legacy lives on in the institutions and corporations that he helped create. What do you think of J.P. Morgan's legacy? Was he a financial savior, or did he hold too much power? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the one on the screen about another influential figure in American history. Thanks for watching.